U.S. President Donald Trump is fighting to preserve a key part of his economic and foreign policy after the Supreme Court ruled against his global tariffs. Last week, he signed a proclamation that allows him to bypass Congress and impose a 10% tax on most imports to the U.S., which took effect on Tuesday. Trump then almost immediately announced he was increasing it to 15%.
Other alternatives will now be used to replace the ones that the court incorrectly rejected. We have alternatives, great alternatives. Could be more money. We'll take in more money.
The tariffs have infuriated U.S. trading partners.
I'm allowed to cut off any and all trade or business with that same country. In other words, I can destroy the trade. I can destroy the country. I'm even allowed to impose a foreign country destroying embargo. I can embargo. I can do anything I want, but I can't charge $1.
Senior administration officials say the Supreme Court ruling does not address the issue of tariff refunds. This week, Democrats in the U.S. Senate introduced a bill that would force the federal government to refund duties paid by U.S. companies. The Tariff Refund Act of 2026 would require a full repayment of the $175 billion of tax revenue collected plus interest. The money would go to small importers and businesses first and would be processed within 6 months.
The EU mostly wants certainty in its trade relationship with the US, and that deal provided exactly this in a very complex landscape. And it provided the EU with some advantage compared to countries at higher tariff. Now that advantage is gone, and much of the certainty in the trade relationship is also gone.
Questions remain over the status of a trade agreement between the US and the European Union. On Tuesday, the EU trade chief said the Trump administration has assured him that it will abide by the deal they made last year.
It is imperative we keep the process moving forward in implementing our commitments.
Walter Moore, CGTN, Washington.